guys, okay, so today I am redoing, I literally did this voiceover in the car at AFL training and I didn't like the sound quality, so I'm redoing it. It's going to be okay. What did I create today? This was the challenge poll that I put up in the Facebook group on Saturday night. Who was it? I think it was Shay put it up and asked, you know, like maybe it might be fun to do a bit of a challenge, and I took it as a challenge for myself, but going forward, if this is something that you guys like the idea of, maybe we could do it in a group setting, like where we can all do the challenge and see what each other creates. Now, the poll I put up, I think I put up about 18 or 20 different supplies that I have that I figured most of us would have. And the top 6 were stamps, stencils, patterned paper, embossing powder, washi tape, and distress oxide ink / spray. So they both had the same amount. So I decided to do something that I have actually, I don't know if I've done this. If I haven't, I'm not sure if I've done it at all. If not, it has been a long time since I've done it. Now, these little mini brushes, this stamp, let's start off. The stamp is a BOBUNNY stamp. It's called FLUTTER stamp. I got mine from Crazy Craft Obsession a little while ago, and it's got 2 sections. So it's got the decorative piece and then it's got the solid back, so you can layer it up, you can do color on the base and then do like black line, you can do whatever you want to do. But I decided to pull out my mini inking brushes, blending brushes, and I decided to basically sort of do like a watercolor. There's no water on it, it's just straight ink on there, and see if I could get some sort of nice blend happening. And I loved it. It turned out so good. If you've got these brushes, give it a crack. It looks amazing. And you don't cross-contaminate your ink because you just sort of barely touching. It kind of mixes when you press the stamp down, if that makes sense. So I used a couple of the different butterflies, and because I love butterflies. Now this one's probably my favorite color. It's the picked raspberry and the twisted citron. Absolutely love these 2 colors together. I'm finding more ways to utilize those 2 colors. Has anybody noticed that? I really like them. And I'm doing 1st and 2nd generation stamping, and I will show you why I'm doing that very soon. So I wanted to, because I like to teach you guys something different in most of my videos, something that maybe you may have seen it in a different application, you may have seen it on another channel maybe, or you may have seen it on Pinterest or in a live somewhere. I try and bring you something a little bit different each time. And this time what I decided I would do is with these butterflies. So instead of just having boring flat butterflies, okay, they look pretty on there and they look cute, and yeah, you could cut them out, and that's what I'm going to do. That's all pretty typical, right? Now, this is where it changes. So I cut them all out, right? Now, this is where I go, okay, so I've got my 1st and 2nd generation of each stamp. So of each image that I stamped. And then what I've done is I've pulled out so another element was embossing powder. So I pulled out now this embossing powder that I'm using is eons old. It is, there's hundreds of different clear, glittery embossing powders. I know Ranger makes some. Where else? I don't, Crafters Workshop, maybe? There's a few, look, you find your stuff wherever you like. I know, look, Crazy Craft Obsession have embossing powders as well. There's the other thing you can do, what I really like these ones for is because it's clear. So whatever I've got underneath, I can see through it, but it's got glitter trapped in it. So it's a really fine glitter. And that's what I really like about this. This particular embossing powder has been going and going and going for about 15 years. Like, you use so very little of it. What is embossing powder? Because I know I have a lot of people on my channel that are new to scrapbooking or new to mixed media, and I don't think it can be too much overkill to explain things on a basic level without making people feel silly, because unlike myself, I will ask anyone anything, because I've always been taught that there's no stupid question, no silly question. The only person that's silly is the one that doesn't ask it, that doesn't know. So for me, I like to let you know as much as physically possible. Now, as far as I'm aware, embossing powder is actually a like, it's plastic. That's essentially what it is. So when you're looking at that VERSAMARK ink, what it is, it leaves a watermark if you want to just stamp it like that, but it's sticky. It's a sticky ink pad. So it allows the embossing powder to stick to whatever you're putting it to. Then you melt it and it's not sticky anymore. It's perfect and it's shiny and it's gorgeous. Now, another element that I ended up using was pattern paper. So pattern paper, I pulled out this particular sheet, which is the Paige Evans. I actually went to use it in a video yesterday, and it didn't make it to the final layout when I was doing my live. So I figured I'd use it. It's page number 23 from the Bloom & Wild collection. Now, it's strips. We all know I love a good strip. And it's kind of like a stitched floral line, and it's in the rainbow colors. I cut it out because I didn't like the white, so much white in between the color. Now, that being said, I went ahead and trimmed them out, and then I thought I want to use these on this page, but sort of in a sort of starburst kind of way. What you can see me doing here is creating a rainbow bold photo mat, pretty much, for my black and white photo. Then realized I didn't do it quite far enough. So all I'm doing is using my mini blending brushes that I've just used in the ink anyway, just using some of the ink off them, and then I'm raising my photos up on some craft foam, and bingo, done. Happy days. And then I just use my Tim Holtz shears, the big 9-inch ones, because I used to always use my mini trimmer for this, and I find the shears are so good. You can get it perfectly straight every time. Now, this is where I use the stencil. I'm leaving it in here because you know that's what I do. I leave in the good, the bad, and the ugly. And I'll be honest with you, you don't even see these at the very end. I don't know why I thought this would work, but we all have ideas when we sit down and we decide that we're going to work out a project. We have it in our head and we just go, gadget, go. I'm not sure what I was thinking with that stencil work. Had I have chosen a different stencil and created more texture in the background, that would have made a whole lot more sense. But for some reason, I wanted to use this butterfly stencil, which is new to me from Crazy Craft Obsession. And I wanted to tie that in with the butterflies. Anyway, but I digress. We move on. Now, I will have a full list in the description below of everything that I've used in this particular layout, and you can see how I've done it. You can pause it, you can fast forward it, you can do all those sort of things. You can slow the video down if you want to. The reason I speed it up like this is because most people like to just watch it quite quickly, and it's my way of leaving in all the juicy bits, the good, the bad, and the ugly, including my stenciling that doesn't even, like, seriously, it looks like I've just trapped some butterflies in a cage. It does not work, but that's okay. We make it work in the end. Now, I'm adding all these strips on because I wanted to create sort of like the photo is the focus in this, obviously, is the focus in the center, and then it's kind of like a big starburst. Now, one of the other things that was on the list to use was washi tape. So I pulled out some silver washi tape, and this is where I realized I need to buy some more washi tape because I haven't bought any in a while, and believe it or not, I'm actually just about out of all my metallic silver washi tape. How does that happen in a scrapbooker's world? I will never know, but gives me something to buy, I suppose. Mother's Day is coming up. I'll buy myself some washi tape. Now, where am I at now? Sorry, I needed a drink. We've had the worst wind up here in Queensland. Like, it's been great, don't get me wrong, I'm not complaining. But it's playing havoc with my allergies. It's driving me crazy. But that's okay. So I'm just gluing down the washi tape because we know washi tape never stays glued down. And yes, I filled up my glue bottle, so now I'm not squeezing the daylights out of it. That's my art glitter glue. Also, I get that from Crazy Craft Obsession if you're looking for some and or you've never tried it before and you want to give it a try. They have it plenty in stock. Now, this is my point of difference. Remember I said that I like to show you something slightly different. Now, we all know how to make butterflies. We all know how to bend their wings up and make them look like they're flying. What I did is with the second generation stamp, that is below where I've folded up the wings. So when you look at the close-up photos later and when I zoom in very, very soon, you'll see that it really does look like the butterflies have kind of this sunlight coming through their wings, and you can see the shadow of the exact same colors, but a diluted version because it's a second generation stamp. It's not as bright. I think it looks awesome. You let me know what you think. If you want to see the still shots, if you want to see those, jump over to the Facebook group or to Instagram and you'll see those over there, whichever is your preference. And as you can see, I think they turned out super, super cute. I really, really like this technique, and I think I will definitely use it again in the future. Be it if I can find myself some good dragonflies. If you're still watching and you haven't hung up on me and quitted out, gee whiz, good English, Karen. If you know where I can get a really nice dragonfly stamp and die would be good, but just a stamp, I want a really nice, not too big, not too gaudy. Like, I've got a die that is a dragonfly, but I'd really like a stamp, so I could do something like this. It would look amazing. I would love to do that. So now I pulled out the title. Now I did, as I was working this page out, and I was doing, because this took me all day to do this layout, believe it or not. In between phone calls and stuff, I did take all day to do it because I really didn't have a clear direction where I was going with it. So it took a bit of time, and I didn't even stop and think about the title. So I ended up pulling out my thickers, and these are the Perfect Day thickers from last month's design team box, and I absolutely love them. On the bright side, the butterflies are bright. Dory is just this little beam of light. She's an adorable little dog, and I just thought that just went really nicely. So now I get to the point where, see, I'm pointing to the sides. We all know I have an issue with borders. I feel like I have to have a border. And I feel like the butterflies are just flying off the edge of the page. So that's where I decided I'm just going to pull a paintbrush, get some peacock feathers, Distress Oxide, get it on an ink block, and I'm just going, a stamping block, and just create a border just with a paintbrush. And I love it. I know that sounds crazy, but I was thinking about doing some black because, you know, my thing with black, if I've got it on there once, I've got to have it on there 3 times. You know, it's just a weird thing that I have in my head. But I didn't want to. I wanted it to stay bright and airy and light. And I I've got to say, I'm wrapped, absolutely wrapped with how it came together. That's the perfect border for it. Now, these are the extra blingy bits that I like to add to things. We all have our thing that we like to put on, and we all go through different phases. So you might be going through a liquid pearls phase. You might be going through an enamel dot phase. You might be going through stickers on everything, all things stickers, you know. That's Jen saying hi. I painted her nails, so she wanted to show you her nails. And to be completely honest with you, I love all things bling. At the moment, I'm like a bowerbird, and everything I see, I want it to be shiny and blinged out. So I went around and you can see this in the close-ups a lot better, but I grabbed my liquid pearls and just on the little antennaes, I gave them little dots right on the end, and it literally brings them to life. I've added some dots down their backs just to give them, the stamping was good, but I felt like the dots down the spine sort of gave it more of a body, if that makes sense. And then I felt like, see those two triangles either side of the photo? I didn't want to put any more butterflies on there, but it felt like it was a bit too open. Now, I will go through, and that is where I will put some journaling on there down the track, but for the purposes of the video and it just being about the photos and the challenge, I didn't put the journaling on there. So I will come back and do the journaling with a silver pen, because I do pull out my silver, it's my UNIBALL SIGNO, I think they call it a gel. Now I don't have the lights turned on for me to read it. It's a pigment ink, silver UNIBALL SIGNO broad pen. So it's a nice thick one. It's like my white one. I just ran it down the very edge of the paper, of the patterned paper, and see how it's just giving a little bit of shimmer, and it's not taking over, it's not adding extra colors or anything like that. It's just a bit of shimmer and shine, and it sort of doubles up for the washi tape being silver, so it gives it just that extra little bit of pop. So I hope you like my layout. I hope that you're happy with the challenge, and did I do good enough? Is it what you expected? So as you can see here, if you look on the side, you can see the second generation stamps underneath, and how shiny the embossed ones are on top, and the little dots down their back makes them sort of come alive a little bit, and you can see their wings. You could just imagine that they're flapping. And yeah, I was really happy with it. Let me know what you think, and if you have not already subscribed or hit like, you can see a little bit of the stenciling underneath there. You don't really notice it though, so you know what, sometimes we just keep going. It's not the end of the world. It's a bit of stenciling. You can see it under the bright part there. It's no big deal. It's fine. You know, it's a mistake, so be it. So shameless plug, if you have not subscribed to my channel, when we hit 1500, we're having a giveaway that is worldwide. So tell your friends, get them all over here, get them checking out the channel, and like, subscribe, leave me a comment, all that good stuff. And I will be back tomorrow with another video for you guys. Don't forget to head over to the socials as well, Facebook and Instagram. They're in the description below. Thanks for that, guys. Bye for now. Chat to you soon. Bye.